just talking about anime. Guess it's important to hear what they say. Argue over weapons throughout night and day. Now that you listen to the Rant Cafe.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Animac here from Anime Pro. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Rant Cafe Anime Podcast. Joining me, as usual, my boys,
Nuts and Briggs!
Briggs and Nux.
Nuts and Briggs!
Love you, my dudes. For this
you, bro.
episode, we thought we would bring back the bracket format because a lot of people said that they missed it. And we're going to be debating the most badass furry in anime.
I thought this was the furry you'd want to have sex with most, which would have been much more difficult, I think.
No, but that'll be in the future.
Oh, hell yeah.
Future.
Part 2! Smash like. If we could get 10,000 likes, we'll do a part 2.
Absolutely. So actually, this chart or bracket was sent to us by someone else, Shay Daddy, over on Twitter. He created it. We didn't have anything to do with it, so we're not the ones counting furries as furries, depending on what you consider a furry, all that type of stuff. We're completely going in to someone else's list, and we're going to do our best with those choices. So if you don't like the choices, you don't consider them furries, it's not our fault. Blame our boy.
Shadayo! And I'm glad you mentioned all this, Animac. Thank you for the wonderful intro. I would have never wanted anyone to do the intro aside from you, so that was perfect.
I know.
I have to say, the first round is probably one of the most difficult. It is Fumikage from My Hero Academia, one of the greatest anime of all time, versus Drakon, one of Sinbad's generals from Magi.
To be fair, I think you would have sex with them both.
I have no rebuttal. Absolutely. Hell yes. And if it was at the same time, it would be even better.
Well, so the thing is, Drakon, or whatever the hell his name is a scaly and not a furry. But scalies are superior to furries because...
Well, technically, Tokoyami isn't a furry either. He's a feathery.
Oh my god. This bracket sucks. I'm kidding. But Drakon is closer, like, I don't know, Boa Hancock. Not really a snake, but it reminds me of Scalies. Mia from Monster Musume, Scaly, already superior. So I kind of want to vote for Drakon. But at the same time, I've never watched the second season of Magi.
This is kind of going badass, right? We're not going fucking...
We're going off badass. And I actually think that, what's his name? Bird dude from FHA, what's his name?
Tokoyami Fumikage. I literally said it so
Bro,
that you
I made a whole video about Tokoyami because I like him so much.
Did. It actually did well, by the way.
Did it? That thumbnail's dope. That's one of my favorite thumbnails.
Hell yeah. I'm proud of that thumbnail, Briggs.
Thank you. I'm going to vote for Tokoyami.
I mean, do we get to see much from Drakon?
Yes. If we, well, first of all, in the manga, he's a freaking mad lad.
Okay.
In the anime, he's also a mad lad. So, first I will tell you some non-spoilery manga stuff. Basically, in the Adventures of Sinbad, you see how he gets Drakon to join his crew. And what's really cool about Drakon is... when it comes to metal vessel users in Magi, they can have subordinates, right? There's the king with the actual metal vessel, which in this case was Sinbad. Shindobado! Who is currently, in the Hall of Fame because he wins literally everything. And the thing about a household vessel user, one of the people that serves him and is willing to obey this king, they can now use like a sort of weaker version of a Jin power. Household vessel users are very complicated because if they overuse their power, they sacrifice their humanity to a certain extent if they're really giving their body and soul to their king, which is why this guy is a dragon. Really, he was a human. But since he went to the extreme to obey the biggest badass in anime history, he half transformed into a dragon to be a pure badass, and he ended up taking down an entire fleet of ships because he became an embodiment of this household vessel as opposed to just a wielder. So he's actually taken down straight up Jin users. Like, you got people that conquered the dungeon, they're a king's candidate, and he just a household vessel takes down an actual king's candidate single-handedly, and he's voiced by Joseph Joestar.
Yeah, like not the voice actor, actual Joseph Joestar.
Yes, they got Joseph. It was amazing. And Tokoyami, if you really think about it, he loses every fight except for the really stupid ones. Like they just flashbang him, and he's like, ooh.
Yeah, like I don't recall. I have seen the Magi anime. I don't recall specifically what Drakon did, but
Blows fire.
being a general of Sinbad is automatically a higher fucking badass scale than being a UA student. So I mean, I gotta go with Drakon.
I think that's
Drakon!
fair. Also reminding me of Boa Hancock for no reason whatsoever, other than the fact that I was thinking
Yes,
about like snakes for a second. Is more badass than anything Tokoyami's ever done. I changed my vote.
All right.
But MHA is still the best shonen.
Good one.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response. Moving on. Who's next? Let me open it up again because I was actually filling out tags for a video. Oh, yeah. Next matchup. I'm saying as I'm opening the page. It is the absolute legend. One of the greatest heroes of all time from One Punch Man. Do any of you remember his name?
S tier hero.
Mr. Dog.
Dogman guy.
Ah!
I love how like you have all these badass S ranks and you just got this dude in like a dog costume. Literally the most badass furry of all time. He took on Garo and caught him off guard.
His name is Watchdog Man. Okay.
Watchdog Man.
You disgust me.
Bro,
And-
I've been a Watchdog Man fan since day one.
And he's up against Joey Wheeler.
That's Joey?
Because do you remember when Joey dueled what's his name? The Dungeon Dice Monsters guy? Duke Devlin. Joey dueled Duke Devlin. And if he lost, he would have to he'd have to wear a doggy costume and be the mascot to Duke Devlin's casino. So then Joey ended up barking around and having to walk around like a dog for like 3 episodes. It was great. So unfortunately, this is for badass.
I was gonna say that doesn't sound very badass to me.
No, right. Watchdog Man, like,
wins.
Can we save to talk about him when he's against Drakon? Because Joey actually has negative badass points.
However, I do like Joey's accent. To me, that is pretty badass, bro. Nux.
You like the Brooklyn accent?
Can you do some of that accent for us?
I could. How much you paying me?
Um,
Subscribe to my OnlyFans for my Brooklyn accent.
I mean, that is the only reason I would subscribe to your OnlyFans.
You see, I know how to sell it. Anyway, the next round, since Joey was just slaughtered by Watchdog Man,
There you go.
we have Inosuke from Demon Slayer versus pathetic Foxwoman. I'm sorry, I should at least give her like a decent introduction. I apologize. Her name is what's her name? Tamaki? Tamaki from Fire Force, who goes erupts in flames, goes naked, and is foxish. But she sucks, and her.
Is she fox or cat?
I thought it was foxish, but cat, I guess. I don't know.
I thought it was cat myself.
Not a huge Fire Force stan. Definitely voting for Inosuke on this one. This absolute legend banged his opponents with his sword so hard they break, which is pretty crazy. Oh, I think the most badass Inosuke scene in all of Demon Slayer is when he breaks his swords because he's fighting that one demon guy, the father of those spider people. And then the swordsman guy comes and brings him new swords, and he's like, I've worked so hard, it's beautiful, and it honed perfectly. And he looks at them, and he just starts banging them on rocks to get them jagged. That's the most badass Inosuke scene ever. And
I do agree that
Tanjiro Kampachiro, which is pretty
I do think that Inosuke is more badass, but in part 2 of this video, I'm definitely going for Tamaki. However, this time I gotta go for Inosuke.
Hell yeah.
Nice, I agree.
Hell yeah.
Also, thank you to Ludicrous Funds
Ludicrous fun!
for 5,000 magical crystals.
Goddamn.
Elderly gentleman mad lad.
Yes, we love him. Next round, we have Naruto Uzumaki, who becomes a fox, versus Vegeta Saiyanstein, who becomes a monkey.
A great ape.
What is this, a furry bargain sale?
Briggs, well said. God damn.
Bruh, Vegeta is so much more badass than Naruto.
See, I am a Naruto virgin, but I have seen a lot of images of Naruto crying. I don't see too many images of my boy Vegeta crying.
What are you talking about? There are so many images of Vegeta crying also. There's
That's
so much
just for you.
What are you saying?
When
Your whole
he couldn't
Vegeta
become a
never
Super
cried,
Saiyan,
bro.
When Android like 18 kicked his ass.
Vegeta doesn't cry, he spits from his eyes.
Yeah, exactly. It was just something in his eye. He didn't cry.
But the best part is when the
Anime can
reporters
always
go to
interact.
Vegeta's front yard, he'll just destroy them.
Yeah, so I haven't seen Naruto, but I assume that Naruto didn't destroy entire planets and annihilate
Actually,
entire.
according to if you look at the data books,
Bro, power scaler's smashing their keyboard right now.
yeah, you just ruined everyone's day, anime.
No, I'm not talking about power scaling. I'm talking about actually
Power
committing mass
scaling is
murder.
everything is power scaling, anime.
Did Naruto actually commit mass murder? Because Vegeta sure as hell did.
If Naruto could commit mass murder,
But he didn't, so it's more badass to actually do it when you're a Vegeta.
pretty weak mindset.
Either way, Vegeta's more badass.
Yeah, Vegeta wins.
Bruh, there's only like, this guy's got his Saiyan pride. He cares so much about the Saiyans, right? Meanwhile, he fucking kills Nappa, his own teammate, because he was too weak. Because guess what? If you're weak, you're not even worthy to be a Saiyan.
Bro, that's pretty badass.
Yeah. I love how, like, when, even on Namek, like, Goku kicked all these guys' asses, Vegeta just shows up and kills them.
I'm so happy we're not making a video talking about the best people in anime. That would have been so boring. It's like Nappa was so sad. How did they kill him like that? God damn. This is so sad.
Nappa deserved better, bro.
Vegeta's so mean, man.
Hooky Wookie donated 1,000 magic crystals to say Vegeta can't beat Goku, though. Well, no, he can't. Sometimes he can, but that
even
lasts
if
for
he
5
could.
minutes.
Even if he could, he can't.
But if
You know
Goku
what I
could beat Vegeta, and Vegeta could beat Naruto, then Goku is the greatest, most badass furry of all time. Duh.
True, because he also can
Why
become
not?
the great ape.
Sometimes a monkey.
But
Stop saying
he
great
did
ape.
have his tail removed at a young age.
Cringe.
Mm.
I don't know,
Yeah.
that whole weird twist. I don't know. I never watched OG Dragon Ball, so maybe it was badass, but I don't know, man. Anyway,
Yeah,
Yo,
like,
OG
the
Dragon
great
Ball is
ape
actually,
was
like,
a much bigger
underrated.
deal earlier on in the story.
have you seen OG Dragon Ball, Briggs?
Yeah, I read it all.
I don't know. I never got into it. I never really even gave it a fair chance. I watched Z, and
I was very surprised because I watched Z and I liked it obviously growing up, and I liked it when I first watched it, and I still think it's pretty good. But then I like, because GT sucked and I wasn't a big fan of Super, whatever. Like, I didn't have a lot of hope for the original Dragon Ball, and then I read it. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this better than Z.
I actually didn't even realize that anything below Z existed when I was a kid. I only later
same.
on realized.
It's a lot more grounded in reality for sure.
Yeah, it's not like insane power.
Yep. Like, martial
remember
arts is
when
still a
Roshi
thing.
blew up the moon? Anyway, moving on. Next round, we have Captain Komamura from Bleach versus Elfman from Fairy Tail.
I must say, Komura's Bankai is quite badass.
It's very badass. Elfman's also pretty badass, and if you're into scaly boys, he can become a big scaly boy.
As
I
you
wouldn't
know,
say I'm
I am
into
an,
Scaly Boys, but Scaly's remind me of Boa Hancock, so like that like gives it like 2 points, and then it reminds me of Mia from Monster Musume, which is another 2 points. It's a close matchup, even though I haven't seen Fairy Tail.
I am clearly an expert on both Fairy Tail and Bleach, as you guys know.
Right,
But of course,
true.
but of course.
So I'm gonna vote for Fox Face guy.
He does look like more of a furry than
Yeah,
the guy
he's
who
more of
turns
a
into
That's
snake furry.
definitely not a good way to rank things, okay? Shut up.
I can rank things however I want.
Yes, that's the question, right? If
This
we
is about
accept
badass
this
furries.
list,
We're accepting the furriness, and now we
Yeah.
just worry about the badassery.
if we accept the list, then we have to just look at the badassery. Nux is right. I never thought I'd have to say that, but he is.
You can do whatever you want. I get to vote based on my own parameters. I have an algorithm very specific for deciding what waifu does this character remind me of.
Hell yes. Now that's pretty badass.
That is quite badass. I mean,
Anywho.
most of my waifus are Chad lasses, so
As they should be.
Bro, is this guy's name Elfman, but he's not even an elf?
Yes.
Wow, that is pretty badass.
pathetic.
No, I'd say it's so interesting, though. If you look at the badassery of the two, Komamura was embarrassed of his face because his face looks like a fox. So he walked around with like this big dumpster over his face for half the show until eventually he decided, no, I will actually show my face. And then he shows his face and everyone's like, oh my God, you're a dog, dude. We accept you anyway. And he's like, oh my God. I'm sorry. I definitely underplayed his character arc there.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Elfman actually had a much had a lot of badass moments. And even though I'm the fairy tale stan in the group, all of Elfman's badass scenes were slathered with so much cringe. I don't know, man. Every time he'd do everything, he'd just say, "That's so manly," and then his sister would kick his ass, and he's like, "My sister's so manly." And then, like, I don't know. Every time he'd win a fight, he would just like flex his hardest, but he should have lost to Bacchus in the Grand Magic Games, and I'll never forgive him for defeating Bacchus like that.
That sounds like a hentai. My sister's so manly.
I have respect for Elfman, but I don't know. I feel like Komamura's character arc was much more badass than. I'm gonna vote for Elfman. He's manly. Screw it, Komamura.
Your vote doesn't even matter. I'm voting for Komura.
This
or whatever
man's
his
a
name
bitch.
is.
He's a bitch. He wore a garbage can on his face because he's a bitch. Not badass. Sorry.
Bro, I love how Nux argues with himself.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to argue with him anymore.
This is amazing.
He's completely lost his mind.
I've never had it to lose it, Animac. You should know better.
No, you used to be more grounded as a human being.
Komamura developed as a whatever. He's not gonna. I was gonna say as a human being, but he's not.
He's
I don't know
a
what
human being. What are you saying? He's a bitch. Anyway, moving on. Next round, Komamura wins. We have Mereoleona, the lioness. I wouldn't really consider her a furry, but I'm happy she's here just so I can vote for her. Up against Kite, one of the weakest, honestly, most overrated characters in Hunter x Hunter, who eventually became a furry-ish
Yo,
creature.
Kite kind of sucks.
Kite
No,
kinda-
so see, this is the thing with Kite. And yeah, I don't think Mereoleona is a furry at all, other than she has sharp teeth and is known as the lioness. But again, we didn't make the list. So Kite, I feel like he had a really, really cool Nen power that we only got,
basically cool Nen power.
and
Yeah,
then we
that
only saw
thing.
very limited amounts of. And I wish we saw more of it, but he just kind of gets
So
Gets
wait, does
wrecked.
Kite get reincarnated into a furry? Is that why?
no.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
She
Bro,
doesn't really
that's so
look like
funny.
a furry. She doesn't really look like a furry, but
He's an ant!
yeah, technically. But I
Yeah.
don't. Do you actually see any like furry features?
She's an ant.
I think this list is just any animal or any any.
Yeah, that was the idea. I'm surprised it didn't put Meru in, to be honest.
Bro, how can you put Mereoleona on this list? She's not a furry at all, and now she's gonna win it all.
Yeah, it's so sad. She wins. Anyway,
wins.
Kite, sorry, bro. Your clown guy's cool, but you I don't know, your hat kind of deducts points. Not the coolest hat. Next, we have one of the greatest furries of all time, and I am so happy it's included. Cars from JoJo.
Why
Bruh.
is Cars a furry?
Because his hand becomes a squirrel!
But he is everything. He's every living life form. So obviously he's a furry as well.
Yes, he is a furry as well, just because he has the highest. Yeah, and he's up against Zeke from Attack on Titan.
Fuck,
Who
I like
becomes
Zeke
the
a lot,
beast
but
Titan?
Cars is just unfair.
It's unfair, man.
Wow, this man looks like a group sculpture.
A Greek sculpture. What the hell's a group sculpture?
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I do.
He's the
I do-
pinnacle of life.
I do think that when he's first introduced, the Beast Titan looks pretty badass. But then when you learn more about Zeke, it becomes less badass to me. Whereas Cars is an underrated villain. I really like Cars a lot.
I think that I can't believe it because you think Attack on Titan's a 10 out of 10. But I have to say, Zeke versus Levi round 2, bro, is one of my favorite fights in all of manga ever.
It is a great fight, but the point is that
And it proves that Levi's a badass.
yes, but again, Zeke isn't like why I like Attack on Titan. I'm like, bro, Zeke is my guy. Like, no.
Well, yeah, Cars obviously wins. Like, this isn't even really debatable.
Cars.
Next, we have the King of the Beasts, Kaido from One Piece. Animac does not know anything about Kaido, and he's up
I
against
do know that he's a Yonko.
Nina Tucker from
So in the actual stream, I have that bottom part of the bracket covered, and I just thought that'd be hilarious to reveal.
Yeah. Thanks, Ludicrous Fun, for 5,000 bits. Squealer should have been on.
Nina is the
Squealer should have been on the list.
Nina Alexander is the most badass.
My biggest complaint
doggo
of
all
this
time.
this fight off, Nina versus Kaido, is that Nina would definitely win in a fight. But we're not talking power scaling.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Let's try not to talk about Kaido too much since what's it called? But let's just
From what I've heard,
Animac
he's
hasn't
a
seen
duck.
him yet. But I will say Kaido has a very weak mindset, and I think Big Brother is a bigger one.
I've heard that Kaido is a duck and Nina is a dog, and I feel like dogs can wreck ducks, right?
All right, I vote for Nina Alexander.
Oh, hell yeah, me too. I'm also voting for Nina Xander. And the reason is simple.
I guess
know
me
that
too, because I don't know who Kaido is.
the big issue is the reason why I'm voting for. I'm arguing with logic. I feel like you guys, the logic is a little skimpy on your parts. But the reason why I'm voting for Nina is because even though Furume Turaru Stubreze Hudo is a massively popular series, which will obviously be plagued with memes, there should be memes everywhere because it's so popular. But no, there aren't. There is literally only one meme to ever come out of Furume Turaru Stubreze Hudo, and it's Nina Alexander. That is the only joke that the FMA fans have. They're like, oh my god, can I show you something horrible? Can I show you something cringy? Top 10 anime transformations? It's always the same joke. This is the one joke that has transcended reality. And that is why Nina Tucker, ex Alexander, is the most badass furry in this round against Kaido.
Okay, let's go with it.
I mean,
man.
that's pretty sound logic. I agree.
Hell yeah, thanks guys.
Next, second round.
Round 2, we have Drakon versus Watchdog Man. I'm a Magi simp, but I'm easily voting for Watchdog Man.
Let's go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, Nox is gonna get mad at me, but like the way Watchdog Man put Garo in his place, I thought was one of the most badass moves in anime.
Like, this
You don't
dude is
understand
literally wearing
how
a dog
badass
suit. You kind of underestimate him, and then he takes on Garo, and like Garo gets like thrown off and has to retreat. It's amazing.
Can I tell you something they say in the manga about Watchdog Man? It's not really a huge spoiler, but it's
Okay.
beautiful. So, you know when Boros attacked the planet?
Yes.
And at the end of the first season, he
I
attacked
remember this.
CDA and all that, and they gathered the S-rank heroes. Watchdog Man didn't really contribute in the fight at all. Do you know why?
Because it wasn't
Because
his
Watchdog
city.
Man, I mean, Watchdog Man did contribute in the fight. Do you know why Watchdog Man was there, but he didn't show up when they gathered the S-rank heroes for a future raid of the League of Villain guy hideout?
Why?
Because he wasn't on his territory.
It's because Watchdog Man is a Shiba Inu that is meant to guard one statue of his former owner. Like, that's the legend that he's kind of, making believe that he's part of. So that statue is in City A, which is the only reason why he contributed to fighting Boros. And if Boros would have attacked his statue, it's said in the manga that Watchdog Man might have won. Okay?
That's insane.
Watchdog Man only fights when someone approaches his statue. And if they do fight, Watchdog Man will kick their ass. But Watchdog Man doesn't get involved in other fights because they're not involving his statue.
Yeah, I feel like Watchdog Man probably has some psychological issues, but a badass.
So there's
nonetheless.
actually a lot of theories in the One Punch Man community that just like Saitama removed his limiter, so did Watchdog Man, which is why he's also probably bald under that big
And he's
fluffy-
got that like expression that like doesn't change.
Yeah, it's the same Saitama expression that maybe he also removed his limiter. And he's like, so Watchdog Man, easily more badass than Drakon.
Easy.
Easy. Next round, we have Inosuke versus Vegeta.
Easy.
That's a good one.
Not even hard. Vegeta.
Yeah.
wins.
I mean, Vegeta is so much more familiar to us. Like, Demon Slayer is much newer, much shorter than Dragon Ball.
Briggs, I think we should give Animac 30 seconds before we vote for Vegeta. What do you
Yeah,
think?
but the thing is, Vegeta
20 seconds left.
has a lot of non-badass moments. I will say that.
Time is up. I vote for Vegeta. Briggs, what do you think?
I honestly, Vegeta, let's go.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Animac, for contributing. We love
Next
you, bro.
round.
Hell yeah. We got Komamura from Bleach versus Mereoleona from Black Clover, who still isn't a furry, but still getting 3 votes and beating Komamura. Oh, no, Komamura. Yeah, Komamura. Sorry, bro. We love you.
Wait, guy, can I make an argument for Komamura?
No, it's all good. Okay, fine.
I wasn't going to anyway, bro.
Nice, Animac. That's a big flex. Next round, we got Cards. Bro, Cards versus Mereoleona next time.
Ooh.
Cards versus Nina Tucker. No matter, Even if Nina Tucker is this ultimate meme from Furry and all of her weight and stake in this battle is memes, you can't out meme JoJo.
I must say that Cars and Nina Tucker are both perfect life forms.
Oh, hell yeah.
Please, guys, tell me in the chat, is there any podcast in the universe other than Rank Cafe where you're going to have Nina Tucker going up against Kaido and Cars?
And beating Kaido.
Beating Kaido.
Anyway, Cars wins. The
Yes,
end.
I agree.
Cars wins, yes.
Cars wins. The next round, the semifinals. I can't believe we've made it here so quickly. It's like we have no stake in this war, so we're just going through it.
I know.
Okay, we got Vegeta versus Watchdog Man. Finally, blood and tears will shed and be spread. Briggs.
Man, the few moments we do get to see Watchdog Man, I'm a big fan. He's one of my favorite characters in One Punch Man, not surprisingly so. But Vegeta is my #1 favorite character in the Dragon Ball franchise. And it's because, what is this, a furry bargain sale? Get out of my face, Watchdog Man. I'm voting for Vegeta.
God damn.
I love Vegeta so much, man. He's actually probably one of the best characters in Dragon Ball Z, even when it comes to just his development and character writing as well.
Yeah, he isn't actually a one-dimensional character. Like, even though he is this egotist and all about Saiyan pride and getting stronger, he has moments where he breaks down and his whole worldview shatters. He also ends up becoming a family man and struggling with that, trying to be this badass guy, but also protecting his wife and kids. So you do have to respect. I think Vegeta probably is the best developed character in all of Dragon Ball. I kind of just think Future Trunks is a bit cooler, but I still love my boy.
He might be cool, but he's not badass.
No, first of all, Cooler is an entirely different character.
Yeah.
Second of all, Trunks doesn't have a line like, "Welcome to the end of your life, and I promise it's going to hurt." That's a Vegeta line, okay? I think that pretty weak mindset, thinking that any character in Dragon Ball is more badass than Vegeta.
But what if Watchdog Man was wearing a tank top?
Dude, I'm still voting for Watchdog Man.
Oh man, that's pretty
I'll
rough.
praise
Because
Vegeta as much as I want. I'm gonna go for Watchdog Man. I think that Watchdog Man is an absolute brilliant character on so many levels. Actually, I have this whole philosophical theory as to Watchdog Man's whatever. I go deep on One Punch Man lore. What can I say?
I'm voting for Vegeta. You're voting for Watchdog Man. It's all up to Animakistan.
yeah, it's rough. Speaking of which, Briggs, the new chapter is up on our Patreon. I just put it up today.
Well done. And I believe you could read that
Patreon.com.
chapter for $5.
Patreon.com/RantCafe. The new chapter is up. It's not up on web novel yet, but if you want to read it early and support this podcast and the novel, you can do it like that. Listen to my logic, okay? So both Vegeta and Watchdog Man get soloed by Vados.
Okay.
But
I love how you say "okay." It's like this is prime Animac logic.
But
Vados
also solos Goku, which means that I'm going with Vegeta.
Logic is sound. Vegeta just barely squeaks out a victory against Watchdog Man, the clearly more badass character.
No, but it's true that with Watchdog Man, we don't see him that much, at least from what I've read up to in the manga, like chapter 100. But every time we see him, he's super badass and hilarious. Whereas with Vegeta, he's a more complex character because we know him a lot better. But overall, I think Briggs is right. Just his one-liners are what get me. Whereas Watchdog Man, he just barks,
So, can I tell you the best line in the Buu Saga?
Yes.
So when Vegeta's he's about to fight, and he says, "When we fight, we'll need a whole planet for our arena." I just thought that line stood out to me, and I was like, "Bro, this man knows where he stands."
Yep.
I do like Vegeta a lot, and I'm not upset that he wins. But
Okay, I'll save more Vegeta talk for the next round.
all right. Next, we got probably the hardest for me in this entire bracket: Mereoleona versus Ultimate Cars.
Yeah, that is hard
All
because
in the storm with 5,000 bits.
Lull in the Storm. Thank you. It is hard because Vados solos both Cars and Mereoleona, but Vados also solos Goku.
Animac, this is pretty cringe.
Now you know how I feel when you talk, Nox.
I don't. I never speak cringe. I spit fact and memes.
Yeah, which other people call cringe, but you call fact and memes.
But
They
wait,
are.
I think Animac is memeing right now, which means he's also spitting cringe. Ooh.
Animac isn't memeing. He's saying this with 100% seriousness.
Oh, but
Well, is it inaccurate? Is it inaccurate?
I'm
Is
not
the
gonna say
statement
it's
inaccurate?
Sometimes facts are cringe.
Nox, I already know who you're voting for.
I don't know, man. Like, yeah, it's tough.
Look, as badass as Cars is, and he is pretty badass, I have to say, he's nowhere near Mereoleona in badassery. Because while this man has all the perfect physique, and he's the prime being, and he's all of that, at the end of the day, this man lost to a dude with essentially no powers. I mean, he had...
Are you kidding me? He had Hamon.
That's why I said close to no powers. He didn't even use Hamon in the fight. He just lured him into a volcano and accidentally blew him to space.
But you forget who this man is.
He's
Yeah,
Joseph Joestar!
A man who hates the Japanese.
If Joseph would be a furry, he'd easily take a fat dub.
Oh, yeah.
But honestly, I have to say, Mereoleona has so many badass moments, it's insane. It's insane.
Yeah,
When
she's another
Joseph
character that
gets those
all her
out,
moments
5 elves,
are badass moments.
her moments are fantastic. And Cars is extremely badass, but he gets flexed on so damn hard. I don't know, man.
Honestly, I think Mereoleona... Oh my god, what am I, Rustage? Mereoleona claps this round.
Easy.
Yeah, I have to also realistically go with Mereoleona, although I do love me my man Cars. I think I modeled my hairstyle after him.
Animac just wants to look like a Greek sculpture. What can I say?
Because, bro, think about it. At the beginning, he's got that like thing wrapped, his head wrapped. Like you think, oh, whatever, and then he just releases that glorious hair. You're like, bro, what an Adonis.
Man.
Final round, it's Vegeta versus Mereoleona. I'm voting for Mereoleona. What am I doing? Easy.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not fair because
Vegeta becomes a huge simp, okay?
Vegeta has a lot of badass moments, but all of Mereoleona's moments that we've seen so far are pretty much badass. Like, we don't know that much about her. She's a side character, whereas Vegeta becomes a main character.
We know the fact that they wanted to take her in to become the #1 student of magic and become the Wizard King. And she said, no, take my brother instead. I'm going to train in the wild. You can only hold me back. You don't get much more badass than that, okay?
Yeah, and you just know that she's probably naked most of the time, bro.
Bro!
I must say, considering the fact that I pretend that Super doesn't exist, I'm probably gonna have to vote for Vegeta here. I love, even in the Buu saga, this man, he goes through all his struggles. Like, he starts to become a family man, maybe a little bit of a better person, starts losing his badassery, and he's like, nope, I'm losing who I am. I must surpass Goku. And then he makes a deal with Babidi, becomes Majin Vegeta, blows up a crowd, is willing to lose everything, his family, everything. And then he takes on Goku. And I don't know, Vegeta's a badass. I'm a big
That
fan.
doesn't sound badass. That sounds like someone who's fucking insecure, bro.
Yeah,
Bro,
man.
he's going through a lot of development, and it's not a linear path. He's up and down, and he's fighting stuff, and he has all these badass moments and one-liners. He's amazing.
The thing is,
And
Vegeta
then he
is a
loses it all in
complex.
Super, and I'm so sad.
Vegeta is a complex character, and if you haven't seen Super, why are you saying that?
I have seen Super.
Oh, you have. Okay, I think he's great in Super.
He's
Guys,
alright. He just loses his badassery.
He develops as a character, which is great, but Mereoleona is the definition of badassery because she has that confidence that she would never be like, oh no, I can't beat Goku. What do I do? Oh, I need to do this. She would always have that internal confidence to overcome every challenge and even motivate others to overcome challenges. So I do think that Mereoleona, who is not a furry at all, should win this bracket.
At least Vegeta has a tail.
I just saw one of Trump's tweets. That's why I'm laughing. Your argument was so petty, I had to view comedy and somewhere else.
Yeah, imagine if Nox actually gave his full attention to this podcast. How obnoxious would he be then?
Oh my god, I don't think I can handle it.
Dude, look at this tweet, man. It's just Trump saying that he's not only going to win 2020, he's also going to win 2024, 2028, 20. He doesn't realize.
That's not a real tweet.
Look at it. Look at it. It's the funniest thing. Oh my god. Anyway, it is a bit Tangent.
Oh yeah, so he just shared a meme. Yeah, that's
Trump
a
is
meme,
the
man.
most
I've seen that meme a long time ago.
2048, Trump's still reigning supreme.
Dude, you don't understand. It goes all the way. It goes up like to the year 2100, and then it goes up to like 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Still Trump 2030. It's like the funniest. Anyway, moving on. It's a funny tweet.
So back to the thing. Oh, you know who actually wins? Ragnar. He's half bear, half human.
God damn, this man's I'd vote for him.
Oh, yeah.
You know one thing I have to say about Ragnar that Mereoleona doesn't stand a chance. Ragnar would use code Briggs on G Fuel to get 10%. And you should too. Be like Ragnar. Also, definitely go upvote my Reddit post and go. Here's the Reddit. It's in the description. Feel free to do that. It's in the thingo. You know how it is.
Bro, everyone in chat, 100% Ragnar. I'd vote Ragnar. Ragnar should win.
Ragnar! And I think that's
Ragnar kills innocent people. Wait, he's a big fan of Vegeta. And he does it by accident, to be honest.
Okay, so Mereoleona wins the bracket. Nux wins the cringe war.
Hell yeah, baby.
This is so sad.
And stay tuned for more delicious cringe on the next episode of the Rant Cafe. Should we read some reviews before we call it a day? We haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, because we do want to encourage you guys, if you support the podcast, to review it. Give it a five-star review wherever you watch. That will encourage more people to see it. It will get recommended to more people, so it is useful.
Yeah, I'm just here to annoy Animac. You know how it is.
Bro, you can never annoy me. I'm so zen, bro.
Yeah, you never get annoyed. Never happened before. Why would it start now?
People are asking where you can review. I think you can review pretty much anywhere other than Spotify. I don't think there's a Spotify option, but
I like Spotify Anime. Anyway, what do you think, Anime? Do you like Spotify?
I do. Well, I use Spotify personally.
Spotify's amazing. Everyone should.
I love Spotify. Also,
bro, it's not letting me log into the Rant Cafe reviews.
So for the Patreon Q&A, we're going to be doing that on Thursday. I want to give some people some time to ask their questions on Patreon.
Nux, let me just link you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Can you get in, bro?
What do you mean get in?
Every time I click the link, it says sorry later.
You just go to ratings and reviews on that link I just sent.
It worked!
But yeah, so I personally use Spotify. I like it. It's a very good platform.
Honestly, I only use Spotify. I'll be right back, guys, while you guys read the reviews.
I'll use Spotify.
I used to use Castbox, but then the ads and stuff got obnoxious, man.
Yeah, that's why Spotify is the way to go. Review, boys! First review, Twigo, 5 stars. The only thing that beats this pure big brain-powered philosophical discussions on this podcast is the deep and intricate delve into the symbolism of mosquitoes of One Punch Man, and I must disagree with Nux saying Zawardo. It should be used for serious big brain discussions. Thank you very much, Deal Pat7. You are a mad lad. Next review! And now a review, 5 stars. I genuinely enjoy each and every episode. I can never decide what my favorite part of the episode is simply because I'm too busy laughing until my lungs hurt. You guys really work hard on this podcast, and I appreciate it. High praise, my dudes. I have come to the conclusion that yes, Ergo Proxy is so philosophical it comes off as pretentious. Also, Shao Tucker is the worst dad in Zawardo, which I think at this point we can all agree and accept it. My favorite guests are as follows: Evan hiding in public, Lost Pause teching, and a few more. But I am still trying to decide if Nux is the best protagonist or antagonist in Zawardo. Briggs is still best boy. Animac is basically Ida. Have a lovely evening. See you, Space Cowboys. Unicorn emoji.
Did he just call me class president?
No, I think he just called you cringy, goody two shoes, glasses guy.
How dare you? I'm not cringy. I'll go with the other stuff, but I'm not cringy.
Hell yeah. Next review, best anime podcast, 5 stars, incredible. Next review, perfect, 5 stars. It's just a podcast, bro. Next review, freaking memes, 5 stars. I love anime rants and random crud. Next review, Rant Cafe review, 5 stars. I'll never forgive Nux for spoiling Bakugo's death. This is so sad. Next review, big chads of them all in this podcast. 5 stars. I mean, first off, Nux and Bread. Second of all, the Rant Cafe gives great recommendations on anime. Have fun with their opinions. And of course, Isekai Light Novel is a 10 out of 10.
Thank you, sir, for mentioning our Isekai Light Novel, which is a thing.
And available on Web Novel and Leave Power Stones. Next review, 5 stars, best podcast in the latest Rant Cafe, which is the Hunter x Hunter one. The Greed Island arc is one of the best, and one thing you didn't mention was how you got to keep a few cards. Gon kept a card that could lead him to Jing, because on his list, it said the first character he met in the game was Jing, which is Gnig, which is Jing backwards, and got the card to teleport someone and lead him to Kite. And Gon said this is what he wanted. This is definitely one of the best things in Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot that ended up being a lead-in into the following arc.
Okay, very cool.
And to me, and I've said this, Greed Island is my 3rd favorite arc.
Very cool. Next review. Love listening to you guys. 5 stars. I would love to listen to you guys ranting about some new anime. Shame there are no new good anime. Anyway, next review. Love it. 5 stars. Fire podcast. Thank you. Next review. The Boys. 5 stars. Yo, love y'all. Especially the Mad and Chad, which is Nux and Briggs, and Animac with a C. You be in Ontario. How are you not ripped? Kissy emoji.
I missed that. What happened?
Anyway, the point is that I want to say, Nux, your idea was to talk about how anime sucks this year, and then you didn't end up showing up for that discussion.
It was not my idea.
People in the comments are like, bro, why do you guys hate on these anime? And I'm like,
you suck.
Nux hates them more than any of us. Nux hates them more than any of us.
I don't know what you're talking about. I love anime. Especially the current season, which has just so much good stuff.
Didn't you have like a video recently that just says anime sucks?
I don't know. Do I? Did I?
I think so.
Next review! Mad Lads, 5 stars. You're all a bunch of mad lads. Can't wait to binge all of these. Smiling face. Next review. Love these guys. 5 stars. You can tell there is love there. Love there between us? Maybe Nux and Briggs, but there's this other guy. I don't know about him. Anyway, you can tell there's love there, and they're passionate about anime, but the humor comes from the hate part of the relationship. Animac, that's us. That's us. They're talking about us.
Speak for yourself, man. I love and appreciate you.
Animac would be lawful good, Briggs would be neutral, and Nux is chaotic evil. Oh, god damn. I like to consider myself chaotic neutral, and Animac just not even on the spectrum. That's how similar he is to, like, you know, Jonathan Joestar.
Bro, I am absolute justice.
That too. Next review, Best Boys, 5 stars. Came for Nuxtaku, stayed for everyone else. You guys are awesome, and you made me a deeper appreciation for our favorite outlet. And if there's not an anime based on you guys, I will flex on somebody until it happens. Hell
well, there is a novel now. There is a light novel now.
That is true. I freaking love this podcast. 5 stars. If I have to choose between my unhealthy love of K-pop and webtoons or this podcast, I would choose this podcast. I listen to it while I'm at work. My coworkers all think I'm weird because I randomly laugh all the time, but I'm not as weird as these guys. Through their experience, I have been able to accept my status as a weeb, and I have learned that I can lead a profound anime-obsessed life without being an otaku. Satisfied emoji. Hashtag next review. Laughing at toxicity. 5 stars. You guys are supposed to be, you guys are supposed to be roasting Nux, not making him and not making me like him more. SMH. Yeah, you suck, guys. Anyway, next review. Very cool indeed. 5 stars.
I thought that was a great episode.
That was an amazing episode. Next review, 5 stars. Very cool indeed. Love the podcast. Still waiting on the character development arc when Brigo and Animac watch Gintama and realize its greatness. Next review. You guys rock. 5 stars. Honestly, it's fun listening to you guys mess around. Helps me get through work. Get Heavenly Controller on the podcast. He's been on this podcast, but I will get him again. Never fear. Hello, weebs. 5 stars. Hello, my fellow weebs. I have been a weeb since I was really young, and I've watched anime with my bro. Love this podcast. P.S. Nux and Briggs. I ship Evan Ito with the
Nux and Briggs!
Because in Toradora, enemies fall in love. Please don't die. This makes my week. P.S. Sakura rules Awado. Hell yeah. Thank you. Nuxtaku lover heart emoji. Next review.
Bro, imagine that was Evan.
It probably is. Nux, ask Melody out already. You two would be such a perfect couple. Thank you for helping me lead my own life and not at all forcing me into uncomfortable situations. Thank you. Next review. Nux is the best. 5 stars. I like this review. 5 stars. I like JoJo's. Thinking emoji. Oh yeah. And Evanito says, Sim! Smiley emoji. And he's afraid of fish. Fish emoji. But it's the best podcast ever. Assortment of fish emojis. Zawardo. And
it actually says Nux is the beat, not the best. but beets are a very healthy
I read
vegetable.
it correctly. Okay.
You know, beets are great.
And this was posted by Want to See These Nuts. Thank you. Very cool. Next review. Lord Brago's snake is over 9,000. Very cool. Welcome to the Rant Cafe, where everyone is a man of culture. Nugs and Briggs work together while they dodge Emerald Splash. An Animac with a C sits triumphantly on Guild Thunder's chair. They then will cycle the closest person and correctly pronounce Furume to the Arikimis. This only applies to the trio because Rustage has to pronounce Mereoleona. You will learn the art of the troll as we mourn Bakugo's death in this manga. God damn, this is a long review, but I like it. In this manga, and laugh at toxicity on the internet. We will honestly describe people's opinions, and in case you didn't know, the word honest has quotation marks. Wow, that's a throwback. And finally, as we ship Lord Twago and Hawk's mom, we get hit by a truck and get isekai to another world with our trucks. And you know I'm being serious because I said the world, not Zawado. This podcast features the Chad lad and Todoroki lover Lord Brago, whose kink is merely planetary level. We also have Daddy Nux with his love of melody and shonen women. Finally, we have the third co-host, Lord Fish King Evanito from the YouTube and Twitch channel Evan Eat Zero. I love the guests, hiding in public, Lost Pause, Tacking and Rustage. But since Goku could beat them in a fight, I don't respect them. If I win, I don't want a shirt, because the guy with the weird hair has not seen Sanji's death yet. Arnold D. Trump is like a son to me, and the phrase "it's just a village" is such a weak mindset. P.S. Nux relates to Griffith because at the beginning of his YouTube career, he was all kind, but then he realized over time that the time for facades was over, and became a soulless being who exists to only torture Animac.
Yes, I am the guts of this
And
podcast.
this was
It's
posted
true.
by Griffith was right.
It's true. I am the guts of this podcast, constantly struggling,
That was a great review. You got
was the
a
greatest
constantly
review of all
struggling against madness.
free shirt from Anime Uproar. Go
Yeah, no free shirts, guys.
follow him on
COVID
Twitter.
has
He'll get you a
COVID
free
has
shirt.
completely backlogged all that. So
That sucks.
yeah.
Next review, True Greatness, 5 stars. First of all, I have to say that Nux is probably the most annoying and biased troll I've ever seen. However, I still respect him as a fellow weeb. Great podcast, gets me all the time. P.S. Animac, please hurry up and witness the greatness that is Gon's transformation and Meruem's incredible development.
Well, it's a good thing we're reading this now because I have.
Yeah, and you thought it was overrated. You suck. Next review, Nux Taku. I watched this because of Lord Nuxenort. Yeah, this guy knows what's up. Next review, best podcast, 5 stars. Me as an anime goat for my whole life. Nobody understood the deep philosophical meaning behind all the shows I've watched, but now I've met these 3 Chads who truly appreciate the culture. This is so nice. Next
I think that's enough reviews. Let's do one more. One more
review, Nux and Briggs, 5 stars. Briggs, you have
Awesome.
anything to say?
I do have one thing to say. Actually, two things to say. Nugs and Briggs!
Oh, God, I didn't see that coming. Every week, I look forward to listening to this podcast as well as the One Piece Virgin. That time, I got Isekai to Another World in my truck is easily one of the best light novels I've ever read. Now, on to my main reason for writing this review. Please invite Project Melody more often. In my opinion, Nux and Melody are the cutest couple on the internet. When she was a guest on the podcast today, half of everything Nux said was encouraging Melody and helping her feel more comfortable. That's right. That's me. Wholesome boy. I know that it's just a giant meme, unless all their interactions were scripted ahead of time. Well, then the sparks are definitely there. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Not saying that Nux or Melody needs to confess their feelings like it's an anime, but also not saying that it's not the case. Sorry, this review is a little long. Hell yeah! You know what I got from this review?
That we script all our podcasts.
That's what I got from this.
By the way, K-Dub says, Animac, you're an important pillar of the podcast, man. That is right. I am a pillar, man.
Bruh.
Nice joke.
Thank you.
And that, my friends.
Briggs, why'd you interrupt the awkward silence? I wanted there to be a longer awkward silence after Animac's bad joke, bro.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we'll do the silence now. Animac's a pillar, man.
What a great joke, guys. Oh, beautiful. Just a great, wholesome joke. Animac has great hair. And until next time, see ya, space cowboys.
Bang.
I was hoping for that. Well done, Brigo. You're a legend.
There we go. There we go.